Hello, and thank you for watching. Okay, this is for those who can and who want to do more. You have options in the description below. Pick the one that fits you best. May I suggest a membership program because it is the easiest and most affordable way to support the channel. But understand that by you watching from start to finish, interacting in the video, liking, subscribing, commenting pushes my algorithm forward and helps me out a ton. So don't minimize the essence of viewership. Thank you again. I knew this was going to happen. There was absolutely no way anybody who is reasonable, sensible, will let this attitude go unpunished. The judge's final words has a hidden meaning that I'm going to tell you about. Stick around, and if you are new here, I'm Alistair Hanzekyo, and this is just my point of view. Let's get started.
State of Florida versus Sarah Boone, 2020 CF 2603. State.
Dave Cacciatore on behalf of the state.
Defendant.
Frank Bankovitz.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Can I have JAC announce themselves as well?
Yes, Audrey Moore for JAC.
All right. So we have multiple matters scheduled this morning, one of which is Mr. Bankwitz's motion to withdraw. My reading of the law is I feel like I have to address that motion first and rule on that before I can address any other motions that would be heard today. So, Mr. Bankwitz, I'll start with you. Tell me why you're moving to withdraw.
Judge, the letters that have been coming to your honor, the derogatory berating of my services in this case, I can't effectively represent her. She doesn't trust me. She calls me a dud, I think, a buffoon, on and on and on and on. And no one should have to endure that type of derogatory comments and expect to effectively represent someone, especially in a murder case.
Ms. Boone.
Something that I want you to pay attention to. There's a lot that is being said here that if you're not attentive, you will miss. The first, I'm going to replay it, but I want to point out what I want you to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention, first of all, to the giggle of Frank Bankowitz as he is starting his sentence. The second thing I want you to pay attention to is the context of his answer. It's very clear and precise. She's making fun of me. Right? Because Sarah Boone has complained about many things about Frank, but the stuff that stuck up to Frank the most is her condescendence and Sarah Boone making fun of his ability to be a lawyer. She pretty much attacked his integrity and his way of making money, his livelihood. Right? The third thing here that I want you to pay attention is the reaction of the judge. Very subtle cues, so the judge have to appear impartial, but you could see in his face that he is in agreement, of course, with Mr. Bankowitz, but long before Mr. Bankowitz even came forward with the fact that he's upset that she's calling him a buffoon. I'll play it again, and with the editing, I'll point a few things out.
Mr. Bankwitz, I'll start with you. Tell me why you're moving to withdraw.
Judge, the letters that have been coming to your honor.
So the scuffle. So Frank, it's not a like a laughing scuffle. It's more of a an attitude scuffle. Like, oh really? Okay, I'm going to tell you. It's an anger scuffle. But the judge is rocking his chair back and forth. Right? He's not quite paying attention. There's a disconnect of attentiveness because he already knows. In his head, he has his mind made up. This is just semantics. This is just for the record of asking why. In his mind, he already got his mind made up. So he's just entertaining the theater, as they will call it in French. Il fait du théâtre. Right? Keep paying attention to the judge. Now look at the judge's eyes.
The derogatory berating of my services in this case, I can't effectively represent her. She doesn't trust me. She calls me a dud, I think, a buffoon, on and on and on and on. And no one.
His face is pretty stoic. His face is almost non-changing. There's not much emotions going through his body. There's no shock. There's no surprise. There's no disdain. There's nothing. It's pretty much a blank canvas. He's just staring, rocking his chair, just going through the motion. That speaks volume. Volume. He's not even looking at Sarah Boone. He's not even looking at his papers. It's almost like he's telling Mr. Banquist, I got you. Sarah Boone, they're tag teaming you, you stupid idiot, and you have no idea. Clueless. And I'll tell you why she's clueless. I'll tell you why. Now I want us to pay attention to the way the judge is going to respond to Sarah. And then look at how Sarah reacts to the judge addressing her. Subtle, but it's very clear.
Ms. Boone, I read your letter dated August 26, 2023, and your letter dated...
Okay, there's a deep breath coming in.
Ms. Boone...
Do you know what that means? You know what that is? So it is when you're about to go in on a kill. It is when you are about to scold a child. You're taking a deep breath. You're getting as much oxygen as possible because you're about to talk. You're about to get your point across, and you need all your brain cells working. Yeah? Welcome to the world of consciousness. It's quite amazing, isn't it? But look how Sarah reacts to that, because her tension in her face begins to happen immediately. And then if you look also at her chest rising, her breathing is increased. So there's a stress response. So there's a stress response from the judge turning around and addressing her in a manner that is not pleasant.
August 30th, 2023. And just so we're clear, I read all of the letters that you send to the court. Whether I respond or not is based on what's in the letter and whether I'm asked to actually do something that's within my purview as a judge or not. If I understand correctly, you have now decided that you think it would be best, in fact, if Mr. Bankwitz was allowed to withdraw. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Do you see that? So her breathing is progressively increasing. Her blinking is also progressively increasing. The moment the judge is saying, I'm reading you all your letters, and in the letters, I respond depending on what's within my spectrum, what's within my scope as a judge, and what's being asked of me, right? And so because the judge never really, according to her, we never really answered the way she would like it to be answered, her blinking increased. It's something like she's like thinking. She's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. What's going on? Right? She's getting flustered and upset and frustrated because at that moment, she realizes that this is not going to go the way she hoped, the way she wished, the way she wanted. There's a disconnect. There's a realization that there's a disconnect in the courtroom between Frank Mankiewicz, the judge, and her. She feels the outsider. And frankly, I'm even shocked that she's surprised that she feels like that. But her body language is everything but someone who is comfortable. She was nice and comfortable at the beginning. I pointed out in the editing. And I look the difference from this position to when she's being addressed. Huge difference. Huge. Huge. Even her stare. It's like that. And then she's kind of like, she's like giving a blank stare like, really? You're doing this to me? Really? It's combative. Let's continue.
And you understand, by him withdrawing, I have to appoint another attorney. Do you understand that?
I do.
And that attorney's not standing here, so we're not going to be able to address, and I'll give the state a chance to talk to me as well. But assuming I grant this, we won't be able to address the other issues that were docketed for today, which means I'm going to have to reset your case for a later date. Do you understand that?
I'm not sure what items it is you're speaking of. I haven't received a copy yet of the letter.
BS. This was very proper English. It was very simple. There is nothing not to understand. This is not a woman who's not capable of understanding context. No. It's the reason why she's like, I don't understand, because it's going in a direction where she is not wanted it to go. What direction that is? Frank being dismissed. Sarah Boone, in her mind, was pretty sure that Frank's motion to be dismissed would have been denied. All of that blinking, all of that increased heart rate, it's shock, surprise. Oh my God. And it's a realization that she's going to rot in that cell for longer than she expected, longer than she wanted. That's what we're seeing. And so as the judge is very methodological, almost like surgical. ... And if you listen to what the judge is saying, he's moving forward in a very precise manner. Do you understand that you wanted a motion? Do you understand that I just granted the motion? Do you understand what's happening up next? So she's like, whoa, slow down. No, bitch. No, we're running. We're running. And so she's like, I didn't get the paper. I didn't get the stuff. I mean, I think we both speak English, don't we? We both speak English. You can rewind the tape. I'm not doing it, but I understood very clearly what you just said. No, she's just playing stupid. She's just playing dumb.
So we also were having a hearing today in regards to authorization for payment for an expert that your attorney believes he needs to defend you and issue about the compensation of that expert, which is why JAC is participating today. I don't know if your next lawyer is going to think that that expert's the right person to use, or whether they're going to go a different route after consulting with you. And even if they did, they're not standing here. And once Mr. Bankwitz is out, he's out. He can't argue the motion. So do you understand that?
I fully understand.
All right. Mr. Cacciatore, normally...
Did you see that part?
I fully understand.
All right. Mr. Cacciatore...
I fully understand.
All right. Mr. Cacciatore...
So Sarah Boone wanted to speak right after she said, I fully understand. She was getting ready to say something, and the judge was like, nah, I'm moving on. Oh, guys, the hidden dynamics between this, the hidden tension, the hidden language, it's so second nature to me. It's quite fascinating, the words that are not being said. And look, she's like biting her tongue, closing her eyes, because she's like, she's dying to say something. What do you think that thing could be? I have an idea. Stick around for my final thought, my darlings. I would tell you. Frustrated. It's not going her way. She really, really was. The fact that she's reacting like this tells me that she really thought that the motion would be dismissed and Frank would be stuck with her. And then she would be like, haha, Frank, I told you I'm smarter than everybody else. Now you have to do what I want. You do what I want. Yes, Frank. I don't know why I did that. I did that because, I don't know, what power does she think she has? The only power she might have over there is just shaking her boobs. I don't really see what other influence she may have. She has no influence. But if I have to give her some influence, that's the only one I can think of. Random interruption. Look, if you got to this point, that means you like me. Perfect. I like you too. Please press like if you haven't done so. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. And I really hope you're going to enjoy past content I've made and new content I'm going to make. Now look, don't judge me too hard. I do speak my mind and I offend everybody. So if you're offended, sorry in advance.
The state takes no position in these issues, but there are limited circumstances when the state does take a position. So are you taking a position on this motion to withdraw, Mr. Cacciatore?
No, this would be one of those times where we would be not taking a position.
All right.
Look, even he is smirking. Listen to me. Even he is smirking. Look. No, we all understood what the writing on the wall was. And we're all laughing at you, Sarah Boone. Even he is laughing. Even the prosecution is like, nah, she can rot over there a little longer. This is why it's so important that you do your best to be afraid of the law. Make no mistake, the law makes mistakes. This is why you get lawyers. And you fight like hell. But if you think you're going to be a murderer and pretend like this thing belongs to you, you're completely out of your mind. As a matter of fact, you're out of your league. You must be completely stupid to think that you can be a complete criminal and walk in there thinking you own shit.
So I'm going to grant Mr. Bankwitz's motion to withdraw. I'm going to appoint my list, Attorney Winston Hobson to represent Ms. Boone.
I bet you Mr. Winston is like, oh my God! Ah! Look, Mr. Winston's like, wait, what? What? Why? Mr. Winston's not very happy. Look, Mr. Winston, this is why you have to go in there and be a mean bitch.
In regards to the other matters scheduled today, I'm going to take no action on them at this time until Mr. Hobson can, in regards to the motion involving JAC, I'm simply going to take no action on that motion at this point in time until Mr. Hobson has a chance to review it and determine whether he wants to proceed with that motion. I will address the pretrial because today was also supposed to be pretrial. Here's what we'll do. Let me just get my calendar up.
Okay. So now look, this is where the judge addresses Sarah. As I play the clip, I want you to really pay attention to his face, the judge's face, judge's eyes, and listen to the words very carefully. Let's go.
Now, Ms. Boone, in just a minute, they're going to take you back to the Orange County Jail. I'm going to suggest that you talk to Mr. Hobson about the various other issues you raised in your letter dated August 30th, 2023. One other thing I want to talk to you about, we had this conversation once in the past. Clearly, your working relationship with Mr. Bankwitz was such that it deteriorated to the point where the two of y'all just couldn't work together to defend your case. So I'm not going to try to referee how that played out, why that unfolded the way it did. But one thing I want to caution you about, if this becomes a problem on another court-appointed attorney, I'm going to look more closely at what the alleged disputes are. You have a right to a court-appointed lawyer. There are certain decisions a defendant gets to make in the defense of their case that are absolutely theirs, such as whether they go to trial or not, such as whether they testify or not. But there are many decisions in a case that a lawyer gets to make. And while you certainly have a right to consult with your lawyer and discuss with your lawyer, they don't automatically just do whatever you say. They use their professional judgment and experience and look at the evidence, look at the law, and do the best they can. Also, you've got court-appointed counsel. As I've explained to you before, court-appointed counsel rarely have the luxury of representing one person and only having one case to focus on. I have concerns that your expectations of what any court-appointed counsel might do as far as spending time with you and the depth and degree of communication may be unrealistic expectations. You always have the right to retain a lawyer to represent you, and then that's between you and that lawyer. You can demand whatever expectations that you have as part of that agreement. But when it's a court-appointed lawyer, You have to accept and understand that they have other cases, other courtrooms, other responsibilities. And I'm cognizant of that when I'm addressing these types of issues about communication. So that's just food for thought, nothing to do today. I don't need a response from you. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that and were thinking about that as we proceeded forward. So again, the court minutes reflect that court continuing pretrial. I have granted the motion to withdraw. I have appointed Mr. Hobson to represent the defendant.
Okay. So, as you can tell, the judge is speaking to Sarah like he's scolding a child. There is a nonchalantness to his statement, pretty much saying that, look, you have a court-appointed lawyer. I don't know what the hell you expect. So what he meant by that is that they have one job. One job is to represent you and give you the best possible defense. That's what the Constitution says. Anything outside of that, it's your problem. This is not your money. This is taxpayers' money. So you don't have the luxury to be spending nights and weekends and holidays just talking on the phone with your lawyer. No, you could do that on your own time. That's what the judge says. You could retain another lawyer and you can do whatever you want with that. But if it's a court-appointed lawyer, you are at the mercy of what the court and the law dictates. And I'm sorry, they're busy. They're not going to drop all of their cases for you. And I go like that because she's not the only one who thinks, oh my God, I'm stuck here, help me. No, plenty of people who get public defenders think they step right, that the public defender literally sucked their toes. Who the hell do you think you are? Long story short, Sarah, Mr. Bankwitz was even nice to even consider you and kept his mouth shut. But from what I understood, no, the law says that a lawyer can force his way into things and make things happen, which I had no idea. I didn't know that because I'm a reasonable client. Okay. I'm not sitting here cursing my attorneys out. So I had no idea that the law permits a lawyer, a defense lawyer to operate on your behalf, whether you like it or not. Ooh, what? Okay. But wait, there's one more. Listen to what this lunatic does.
I'm not able to say anything.
That's his information.
Sarah has been dying to say a few words. And what do you think those words would have been? Because if you remember at the beginning, she was like, she couldn't say it. What she wanted to say is relation to when the judge agreed to the motion to dismiss. She was going to say, but he gave me 6, 7 numbers. You don't think it's fair? You don't think it's unfair? I call all the time. I try to get in touch with him. He never picks up. He gave me this. It's the same complaints in the letter. Nothing new and nothing of substance. That's why the judge was like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Mr. Bankwitz just took his walker and walked off and walked away. Good job, sir. I'm going to clap for him. Some of you may not like him. He put up with that. Would you be able to put up with that? I wouldn't. I tell you right now, after the first letter, I quit. So, no, you're not allowed to say anything. I think that it's even quite clear. The judge even said, I'm only here for one thing and one thing only. I don't need to hear your answer. And not for nothing, the fact that the judge read all of her letters and didn't even address all of her requests tells you that he and they were operating under the law. So you could go suck it and your appeal. All right? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. These people who are very smart, they know that stuff like the back of their hand. And if try and appeal, it's not going to work. The topic for the final thought is going to be this word. Truth. Why truth? I'll tell you why truth. Mr. Bankwitz had issues with Sarah Boone. The issues were deeper than just her calling him a buffoon and a terrible lawyer. If you notice, she only mentioned that in one paragraph in her recent letters. She wrote many letters. But Mr. Benkiewicz stuck on that aspect. The fact that she criticized his work ethic and his work. That is what Mr. Benkiewicz just wanted to make us known that that's what hurt him the most. And it speaks volume onto his character. He is a lawyer who enjoys his job. But he's also a lawyer, if you read between the line, that maybe his peers don't take him seriously. Maybe his peers do make fun of him. Maybe in the lawyer circles, they don't value him. And so, it may be a pseudo-truth, but it hurt Benkiewicz to the point that that's the thing that he latched on his statements to the judge. I'll come back to the word truth in a little bit. Then we go to the Sarah Boone situation. And the truth here is quite simple. She killed someone. Whether intentional or not, that's not for you to decide. It's not. It's for the jury to decide. But in the eyes of public opinion, she's guilty. You could twirl all you want. You could do cartwheels all you want. You could flick your hair all you want. This woman is guilty in the eyes of public opinion. And let me tell you something. There's no better court. There's no more worthier court than a court of public opinion, okay? Yeah, suck those lemons. But here's where her truth is. And her truth is that she's lousy. Forget the smart. Forget all that. She's disrespectful. This is someone who's sober, by the way. This truly is her. Forget the drinking, because at the beginning people were like, well, she's a drunk. No, my dears. No, darling. She is sober for years now. It might as well be her rehab. She's been sober for quite many years. This is her personality. She is miserable. She is difficult to deal with. She is absolutely annoying. She's obnoxious. She's difficult to get along with. She's not pleasant. That is her truth. And let me bring that back into let me equate everything I just said. Because if Sarah Boone were to accept just that truth, which is very painful, nobody wants to be told that they suck. Nobody wants to be told that they're lousy or mediocre or etc., etc. But if she was to accept that truth, because someone can say that and it cannot be true, but if it's true, if you went through 6 or 7 lawyers, the problem is probably you, right? I mean, if she was to accept that truth, it would have helped her prepare better on her social skills. If she would have accepted that truth, it would have prepared her better for whatever future venture. Because she has yet to accept the truth. She has yet to accept the truth. So the next lawyer is going to this thing is going to repeat itself. I mean, this is it's an educated guess, but Lady Luck is a very lazy woman. And chances are she's going to do it again. Because she hasn't learned anything from it. And to go back to Mr. Frank Benkiewicz. Because I believe and I think Frank actually must be a very good lawyer. Because when someone feels, I'll even go as far as saying when someone feels the imposter syndrome, someone feels like they're not worthy even though their work is good, they tend to work a little extra because they have something to prove. And it's unfortunate Unfortunate that his peers don't value him like that. Not everybody's supposed to be perfect. Not everybody's supposed to be good. But there's something to be said. Even if you see someone who's not as good, who don't perform as well as you, who you may not even agree with and there's no harm done, why voice that opinion? Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. If you know you do a better job than your peer, they don't need to know that. Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. So that's my final thought. Let's go to my Let's Talk. Welcome to my Let's Talk. If you got to this point, then you really like me. Thank you. Press like, subscribe. So you know I'm single parenting. You know what's funny? I say that a lot. Look, it's a word that I stole from one of my clients. His name is Wolf. It's not a complaint thing. It's so draining. It's so draining. You know, it's you kind of have to go on autopilot. And there's a routine, like once the kid is asleep, here's what you have to do next. You almost have to do it. You have to prepare stuff before it's due. You have to make lunch before lunch. You have to make dinner before dinner, because it's, at least here in this household, that's how it works. Because once Olympia is hungry, there's no time for waiting. Or if you have her sitting down, like I say, it's time to eat, you put her on her high chair, she's not going to let you cook. She'll be crying and screaming, because she's hungry. So you have to kind of be ahead of the curve. Do you know what I mean? Even so, as she's eating, because she eats real food now, you go and prepare the bottle. Yeah, she gets 2 bottles a day, 16 ounces a day. We give her high protein oat milk. And so as she's eating, you go and prepare the bottle. Because after her food, for breakfast, she gets to... I'm not boring you with baby talk. Sorry about that. But that's my life. Everything about me right now is baby. As she's getting older, she's getting more demanding in terms of attention. It's okay. I don't mind at all. So much work. It's impossible to work. I have to... it's funny. I was just talking to my sister-in-law yesterday, because she called to see how I was doing. And I said, I'm doing fine. And, when I'm single parenting, I can't really work. Like, unless the daycare happened, which was on Friday. But on weekends, forget it. Everything is canceled. And you might ask yourself, what do you mean? It's impossible to have the brain cells to be hands-on when you have to put a lot of brain cells on the kid. So I don't take phone calls. Look, everything can burn. I'm a very scorched earth kind of person. So when I do single parenting, I disconnect and I deal with the consequences on Monday. It's like that. Or I deal with the consequences the next time I have the time. Yes, it's quite catastrophic, but that's just the way I operate. At the beginning, you try to have it all. You try to keep it all, but with parenting, something has to give. You cannot have it all. You could try, but not everything can be at the same intensity. What am I going to do? I cannot not choose my daughter. So things are going to burn. Period. Yeah, I've had to be therapized into accepting that. It's okay. It's okay, because Olympia will grow up to be the president of the United States. I get my money back tenfold. It's the ultimate investment. Go, Olympia. You have to be a lawyer. No, she can be whatever she wants to be. Chris says, look, it's so funny, because I'm like, okay, Olympia, you're going to be, because, she's French, because I'm French. So it goes like this. Okay, Olympia, you're going to be president of the United States, then vice president of the United States. 2 terms! And then you could be like, all right, America, I've solved your problems. I must go to France and solve their problems. She'll be French president. 2 terms! arms. And then, oh wait, and then she's like, okay, France, I've solved your problem. Now I'm going to help the EU. EU commissioner 2 times. I mean, she has the paperwork for it. If she really wanted to, she could. Nothing can stop her. She has the paperwork. She has nationality. She has everything she needs to make it happen. And then Chris is like, yeah, she's just gonna be a stripper. And I just laugh. I just laugh and I go, oh my God, can you imagine? Chris says, well, no, I can't, but I said, what do you mean? But listen, don't knock strippers. They make a lot of money. I'll tell you a funny story. So, no, not it's not my story. Although when I was in what year was it? I don't remember the year. I tell you the age. I was 25. 24, 25. And one of my good friend, oh, wait, you might know this person. So Olympia was fed with breast milk. The breast milk was from my friend Tara. She pumped and fed Olympia for the first year of her life from her breast milk. But no, me and Tara go way back. And so when we were 25, 24, we really were thinking like, okay, look, Tara, we need some extra monies. Do you want to go wiggle and shake our boobies a little bit? She said we could call each other Ebony and Ivory. And we were really like, okay, let's do a business plan, girl. All right. Because it was like, we were like, okay, so what club? Okay, we stay together. Nobody touches us. And then she's like, well, how do we make money? They have to touch us. And I go, all right, no nipple touch. It was so funny. We actually put out a plan together. And then we're like, okay, well, let's give it a try. We're both into fitness. So I said, okay, let's put this plan into action. And literally a weekend, we get together and we look at each other. We say, no, girl, we can't do that. No, we didn't do it. It's a funny story, though. Yeah, we went all the way. We were like, oh, no, we want that monies. And not paying taxes out of it. No, it didn't happen. Although we joke around, Ebony and Ivory. Yeah, how funny. How funny. I wonder who will pay for that. Oh, what am I talking about? People pay money for feet. You know OnlyFans, right? Oh my God. Look, okay, TMI, but look, I'll tell you anyway. I don't have an OnlyFans. Don't worry about that. No. But I was thinking about having an OnlyFans. Not like that. Hold on. Let me explain to you. Stop screaming. Let me explain to you. I was just Googling schmoogling. And this article came out about this guy who was making $5,000 a month selling pictures of his feet. Now, I have very nice feet. And Chris has very nice feet. And I was like, it's just feet pics. I was like, so we actually we have a catalog of feet pics, but we never released it because every time it's just for fun and jokesies where I'm like, oh, look at that, let's take a picture of that. Actually, I was looking at them when Chris was in LA. When Chris is in LA right now, we were on the phone talking and we were going over the catalog of our feet, and we were like, oh, feet look really nice. And then I was like, should we do it? Chris is like, no. I was like, no, yeah, you're right. But they're their feet. Nobody's gonna know it's our feet. It was just so really funny. But no, I don't think it's just this world is so crazy. This new world is completely crazy. I mean, I had to go to school, get a degree, and get a job. It's insane how the world has changed. You can sell pictures of your feet and make $5,000 a month. I'm just saying. Wow. Yeah, if you have nice feet, manicured, remove the callus, and pose, darling, pose. Point and pose. Oh my God. So funny. Then, yeah. No, but look, sex work, I'm not a stranger to that. I have friends who are in the sex industry. Yeah, I think I told you this story. I don't remember. I'm not going to tell you his name, but he's an escort, and he gets paid like $15,000 for the weekend, and he does men and women. And now it's not every weekend. It's I don't know. It's here and there, but so people think it's like at first I was like, wow, that's a lot of freaking money for a weekend. Do you have to have sex with them? Not always. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. No, not always. Matter of fact, depending, like women don't require the sex. The men do, of course. Oh, boys. We're so stupid. I love it. No, but women don't require the sex all the time. The women, it's more like, you know, more intimate stuff. The man is like, come on, get over here. Get on all fours. You know what I mean? And yeah, and but that I have to say, we've been friends since we were 23, and he still does it. And you know, we're about the same age. I'm 38, so he's 39. I'm gonna be 38, so he's going to be 39. And I remember, and I still speak with him. And I remember the last real conversation I had with him was like, let me ask you this question, like, you know, we're not going to look like this forever. You know what I mean? And because they have a steady clientele, and those clienteles, and they're older clienteles, they're not going to live forever. And I said, you know, there's no healthcare, of course. There's no healthcare. And there's no 401k. You know, I was asking him like real grown-up questions, like, what's going to happen? What's gonna happen, you know? And so he told me that he is trying to get back into the regular job, and so he's been out of the workforce for so many years that it's so difficult to get a job because he has nothing to show in his resume. I said, oh, of course, I didn't think about that. Yeah, and then he said also that, you know, the easy money, the fast money is so addicting. And because he has a steady set of clientele and a schedule, darling, he has a schedule, all right? On September 21st is this and that. Like, he has a schedule. And because he has a schedule, it's hard for him to get used to, you know, working, wait 2 weeks, get a paycheck. You know, like, it's difficult for him to wait for the money. And so I said to him, I was like, okay, I understand. I didn't think about that. But yeah, you know, because hard work, look, life is hard. If you don't have grit, life is difficult. So I understand that it takes a while to get accustomed to grit. It's not innate. It's a skill. And so I was like, wow, I totally understand. So he's been trying to get a regular job, but it's so difficult to get unhooked on the 15,000 on the weekend and then 20,000, you know, in next month, right? Yeah, I couldn't do that life. I couldn't do it. And this in another world, right? Single, whatever. I couldn't do it because also they have to work. It's mostly on the weekdays he works at night. What? I'm tired. I'm 38. It's like, oh my God, it's 8 p.m. I'm exhausted, and then I have to go to your house. Then I have to perform. Oh my God. Like, what do you mean? Get naked. Can I just please lay down and have a drink? I'm tired. Can you watch a movie? You know, I'll get kicked out. I would not get any clients. They'd be like, get out, Alistair. I'm like, oopsies. I thought you wanted to watch a movie. I guess not. No, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Oh my God. I have a really bad itch here. What's going on? The girl is sleeping. I have my ears listening to when she wakes up. Although I do have to wake her up though, because I don't want her to sleep more than 2 hours, or else she won't sleep at night. And then what else is going on? Oh yeah, the figs. Look, funny. I took a snapshot of the conversation. I think I'll try to post that. I tried to post it on the community post, but Christopher he's in Beverly Hills, and he went to the store to buy breakfast, and it was like $23 for breakfast for an avocado toast. Oh my God! So at first I was like, okay, so avocado toast. I said, oh, it must be the whole avocado. No, honey, it's a slice of avocado. What? A slice? Okay, a mother effing slice of avocado. One piece of toast. And a boiled egg. $23. I said, Christopher, that's like a dozen eggs. And then I called him. He's like, Alistair, I can't believe it. I said, what is that? He's like, Beverly Hills. And at first I'm like, what are you doing there? He's like, that's where they're having his conference. And I'm sitting there like, people in California, how do you afford that? That's insane. I know the real estate is super expensive, but then the food too. Like, no wonder the homelessness is out of control. Like, how do you afford that? How do you afford that? And then I'm thinking top of my head. I think most of that money is for if you take that $23 and you slice it up into pieces, a big bulk of it goes towards paying the rent of the building, and the rest is the second part is the avocado, and the rest is the bread. And the egg is the last one. I mean, it was bonkers. I was completely stupefied at the price, and that's just the breakfast. Thank God that his company is footing the bill. But I was like, this is quite crazy. And then because he exercised, and he went out there. He was exercising outside, and he was like, wow, there's so much. The homelessness is really a lot. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I'll stare. Yeah. I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, it was really high there. And, which is really unfortunate. But it makes sense because the rent is expensive. The food is expensive. How do you survive? Nuts. It was just unbelievably expensive. I couldn't believe it. Look at us sheltered here. I thought Jersey was expensive. No, honey. California would take you out. California would take you out. California would say, who is this Jerseyan peasant? Hi, it's me, Alistair. Peasants! Yeah. What else? Oh, yeah. Fig galore. You don't understand. I think this year's harvest is the biggest harvest to date for my figs. I am already at 50 pounds. Normally, I get 50 pounds of fruit for the season between the two trees. I'm already at 50 pounds, and I've harvested it 3 times. 2 times from the brown figs and 1 time from the yellow figs. They're just heavy. It's just so good, but they're popping out like I can't keep up with the harvesting, so I invited my family to come over, like, come on, come get your figs, because I don't want this to rot on the tree, because I share my labor with nature. So the squirrels eat it, the birds eat it, the ants eat some. Even with all nature eating it, it's still so many on the tree. And I said I called my mom. My mom is coming this coming weekend to come and take her fill. I said, come pick those MF out and then freeze them in your freezer, because I don't want it to go to waste on the tree, because that's also not good. It's not good for the health of the tree and the ecosystem. Come pick my fruits. Come pick my fruits. Do you know what I mean? And then yeah, so bringing the cavalry, come. All my trees is just literally water, sunshine, and dirt. I don't put anything in it. This is how I plant. I put you down here. Good luck. You better do your best. That's how I plant. I observe and I try to make sure. No, even when you get the pest, because, you have the pest, ladybugs will come and eat it. I have a full ecosystem here. You don't understand. I have, everybody else in the neighborhood have a lanternfly problem. I don't have a lanternfly problems. No, there's invasive species from China. Not at all. It's a bird sanctuary here. I have plenty of wasps, bees, plenty of them. They don't bother us, but they do their job. They eat. I don't have any lanternfly situations. I have plenty of spiders, plenty of centipedes. It's quite beautiful. It's quite quaint where I am. There's a lot of buzzing, a lot of color, a lot of flower, and a lot of fruits. You don't understand. Like, if the world goes to poop, I can sustain myself with fruits and vegetables. I just need some meat. I don't know how to hunt a squirrel. Like, I don't know how to catch. How do we eat the meat? Oh, we have a brook. Maybe we'll fish. How boring. My brother-in-law loves fishing. I'm talking a lot because the kid is sleeping. I have nothing to do. Nothing to do. My brother-in-law loved to fish. He brought me on the fishing boat once. Fishing is boring. He brought me on his fishing boat, and we got on the boat. He's like, Ulster. My brother-in-law is very hetero. Oh my God. You cannot get more hetero than my brother-in-law and my brother. They're so hetero. I said that in a good way, but it's like, like, hello. Like, it's just so, like, stoic. Like, it's, they hardly laugh. I'm like, can you please crack a smile? Come on, I'm cracking a joke here. Yeah, what's up? Yeah. Yo. Yeah, and he talks Italian. Yo. At least, yo, what's up, Alistair? Yo, what's up? Yo, what you doing? Yeah. Like, what you doing? I'm talking nuts. Speaks typical Italian with a deep voice and not a smile. But he loves to fish and drink beer and talk about girls. Which is so funny because I like to talk about girls, but not in that way. Nice shoes. It's so funny. Talks about boat and fishing rod. I'm like, yeah, this boat is great. No, I do that in front of him, but in my mind I go, oh my God. But it's so pleasant to be around him. It's just so different. It's so different. Talks about bikes and cars and home labor. Yo, I fix because he does manual labor. Like, if he tiles, that's his pastime. He likes to build stuff, tile the wall, paint, fix the ceiling. Like, he talks about that stuff, and I'm just like, oh, great. I hired someone for that. Like, want to tile the floor? No thanks. Talks about the grout. Yo, there's this taco at Home Depot. Oh, is it? Yeah, it's this new brand. Like, great. Oh, Greg. I love him. I love him to death, though. Oh, such a good time. But he brought me his fishing boat. And I enjoyed the beer and the conversation. Forget the fish. And I was like, fish, run. You don't want to be here. They'll eat you. Run. I have the best family. Anyway, alright, I better go wake her up. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. This was really quite nice, squeezing this in while her nap time. It's okay, everything is already ready. I have lunch ready. Yes, I have so the way we do it, we have lunch, but we have a post-lunch, like a post-meal before the meal. Something very small. It could be one fig. It could be, like strawberries. It could be something very small just to get that going, right? And yeah, so I have that ready, but everything is already ready. All I gotta do is just autopilot. Everything is already pre-prepared. I'm tired though. Hurry up, Christopher. Come back home. Darn it. Yeah, he's enjoying his working out, enjoying the breeze, sleeping. I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm raising a child. No, I'm playing, of course. That's what parenting is for. That's what parenting is. You both work like madmen for the betterment of this child who will be president of the United States, vice president of the United States, president de la France, and EU commissioner. Olympia will solve the world's problem. or do cartwheels in a circus. Can you believe it? Anyway, bye.